Yes, we're late. I know. My fault. Sorry.
It's that California time.
Oh, God. All right. Well, let's start anyways. Let's do this.
Yes.
Distance nerding.
Oh no, he's dead. Oh.
Yeah, but not in a terrifying way. Huh? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm late. This is almost download time.
It is.
I know. But yes, we are late. Well, sorry, Graveyard was on time. I was late. But we're here. We're getting this started. We're doing it.
I can only blame James for
Yeah.
staring seductively at you.
Absolutely. It's the only thing that you're supposed to blame everything on. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just throwing it out there. Work happens. I was on the other side of town and traffic was really bad.
What?
Like normally traffic is traffic, right? But like traffic today was like especially bad. It was backed up for a good 10 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Maps was reporting that there was a hazard on the road. But by the time I got to where the hazard was, there was nothing there. So I think there might have probably been like a hazard in the road. They cleared it up.
Was it called a Republican?
Maybe. Probably. No, there probably was a hazard in the road. and probably what ended up happening is once they cleared out the hazard, there was still like residual traffic from it. So yeah,
it almost sounds like that between being in traffic and coming here, you need some sort of pick me up or energy booster. Do you have anything for that?
You know what? I don't.
You don't?
No.
That's a shame.
No, actually, we do. Ladies and gentlemen, this show is brought to you by the good folks over at Dubby. That's right. Dubby is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration, reaction time with no jitters or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, why? Why should I get Dubby? Why should I drink this delicious amalgamation of flavors?
Because Dubby gets you laid.
Dubby does get you laid, but not the way you think.
Damn.
You get Hawaiian flavors and they lay you. That's right. But ladies and gentlemen, Dubby contains Neurofactor. Neurofactor is a neurotropic derived from the coffee fruit. Neurofactor helps give your brain focus and clarity, while the 150 milligrams of caffeine and 3 essential B vitamins help you stay alert and energized. Find out more about Dubby at www.dubby.gg. Use the code NERDING10 and get 10% off your order. All of the fun, all of the deliciousness. I probably normally would be drinking Dubby, but I'm not right now because I've had enough caffeine for the day.
I mean, I wouldn't be drinking it either because it's almost 9 o'clock where I'm at. So.
Yeah. I don't need my heart to explode. Let's just not do that.
Oh, after the day I had, my heart can explode. It'd be fine.
Just like, fuck my heart. Let it explode.
Yeah. I'm 40. It's all downhill, right?
Right. I love it. Sandra in the chat. It was a towel flapping. There was a towel that ended up in the middle of the street.
I mean, in fairness, it's probably on fire. It is California. I just assume everything's always on fire.
It's true. It's funny. I got off the exit. And I honestly thought that like there might have been a fire because there was like a whole bunch of haze. I was just like, wow, this is not normal for a regular day. That didn't seem like there was a fire.
I just assume Florida's perpetually wet, and California's always on fire.
Yeah, not pretty much. That's exactly it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did have a guest today, but she was unable to make it today. So we are converting and going into a oops all bracket. We got a whole bunch of brackets that we need to catch up on anyway. So this is like the perfect day, right?
It is, because I don't think we have a show next Thursday, correct? It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is right. Next Thursday, we do not have a show.
So that means we got to get through all the laughy spoopy bracket today.
That's right. It's perfect day for it, right? Like we got all of the spoopy stuff. We got 2 hours to talk about spooky stuff. So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
We do have an interview on November 1st on All Saints Day, though.
Ooh.
All right.
Phil has full-size candy bars.
Yes, I give away full-size candy bars. Costco, at some point over the year, will usually have sales on full-size candy bars, so we stock up.
There's only one candy bar I will eat. Can you guess what it is?
Payday, because it doesn't have chocolate.
Correct.
I was like, let me think. What doesn't have chocolate? Big hunk.
Never had it.
Never had a big hunk? I might have to send it to you. It's just nougat. That's all it is. It's just like
just nougat.
Just nougat. Yeah. It's like a hard nougat. So it's nougat, but it's the consistency of taffy.
Oh.
Yeah, you've never had a big hunk. I might have to send you a big hunk, man.
I generally don't eat candy. Despite what I look like, I don't generally eat candy. It's always like with my kids when they're trick-or-treating, they're like, oh, someone's gonna steal all our candy. I'm looking at like 90% chocolate. I go, I'm not stealing it. Your mother might. I'm not.
It's like, yeah, no, he's a Dutchman, but he doesn't eat Dutch chocolate. It's not something he does.
No.
Dutch apple pie, maybe.
Which isn't Dutch.
Yeah.
Neither is German chocolate cake. So fair warning there. And as I was once told, Macedonians invented tacos. So
I wouldn't put it past them. Just honestly in there. I recently found out that al pastor is not Mexican.
It's Middle Eastern.
Yes, specifically it's Lebanese.
Mm-hmm.
It was made by Lebanese immigrants to Mexico.
All two of them.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, you ready to get into this Oops All Bracket episode?
Absolutely ready to get into some Oops All Bracket. We need all of the votes tonight, guys. Tonight, let's get this in. Tell all your friends to join tonight. Get in on this. I'm actually going to be posting on all the social medias here, just because I want a big turnout for this, guys.
Mm-hmm. And Taylor is correct. Skittles. I am a Skittles whore.
I do like Skittles. So what is your favorite flavor of Skittles? Not flavor of actual Skittle, but like what color bag?
Red.
Right. So the original.
Mm-hmm. I eat two of the same flavor at a time because I'm weird.
You know what? It's funny. I do that too. So I will do two of the same flavor, or I will combine flavors to get like different flavors. It's like one of my favorite ones to make is like a strawberry lemonade, and you just get like the strawberry and the lemon and make a strawberry lemonade out of it.
Yeah, which is nice because it's at least different flavors, unlike Fruit Loops. But yeah, my go-to candies are Skittles, Sour Patch Kids.
Oh yes.
And essentially anything like Airheads or Laffy Taffy.
Airheads are amazing. Laffy Taffy, the tropical fruit punch one, is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Were you an Outlander guy?
No.
Oh, really? You didn't
No, but I was a Warheads guy.
Well, what was your favorite Warhead?
Lemon.
So lemon was good. When I got my hands on the watermelon one, I could not. I couldn't eat any other Warhead but the watermelon one. For some reason, that was so good to me. It's like the blueberry Jolly Rancher.
Oh, Jolly Rancher for me was sour apple.
Sour apple's always good too. It's always a good choice. You know,
Mhm.
of all the flavors, I usually like cherry everything. I hate cherry Jolly Ranchers.
Cherry Jolly Rancher is a disappointed cherry slushy turned to water.
It's I wouldn't even say it's that. Uh I would say uh um cherry Jolly Ranchers to me tastes
Mhm.
like if cough syrup tried to be a candy and then failed completely.
Have you never had a sucrete?
Sucrete?
Yeah,
No.
it is a cherry cough drop that is medicinal. Instead of cough drops, you have sucrettes, and that is exactly what a cherry Jolly Rancher tastes like.
That is absolutely terrible.
It
Watermelon
is.
Jolly Ranchers are good too.
My dad's favorite candies. You ready for this? You ready? The Pepto Bismol candy.
There was a Pepto Bismol candy?
Well, because it's medicinal, right? It has the spearmint quality. So there's a pink candy that tastes exactly like Pepto Bismol. It's
Okay.
freaking disgusting. I cannot stand it.
That sounds nasty as hell.
Yeah, it really really is. And he also likes the lime wedges.
Lime wedges aren't bad. I can do lime. I like the wedge candy in general. Those are usually
Mhm.
pretty
The orange are my favorite.
good. Jackie made orange wedges.
Really?
So, fun fact: homemade orange wedges.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is candy orange peels.
Mhm.
Right? I thought that was weird because like if you ever eat an orange and you try like you accidentally get some orange peel in your mouth, it's like it's bitter, it's nasty, it's like why this is terrible. But then when you candy it, it's like the most amazing thing ever.
I would agree, except I also make beer and I use the orange rind a lot and
Yeah,
the orange skin for stuff. So
yeah. I thought it was weird that like rind by itself is absolutely disgusting, but then when you use it and
Mhm.
stuff and like you alter the chemical nature of the rind, it is amazing.
Yeah, there is one candy dessert that I make that I will never eat.
What is it?
Do you remember Epic Mealtime?
Oh, absolutely, dude. Where was I? I was oh no, I was playing Call of Duty the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the middle of I'm just I did not tell the story on the show. I should have told the story on the show. And this dude shows up in the middle of the match. And he's got like the weirdest, fakest Johnny Depp wannabe accent going.
Okay.
So he's just sitting there going, "You are not worthy. You are not worthy." And he just keeps going. And then at, at one point, I'm like, "Look, fake Jack Sparrow, I'm gonna need you to calm it down." Right. And this other guy just starts cracking up laughing, and the guy's starting to get offended, right? And he's just getting mad. And I was like, "You sound like the worst version of Johnny Depp that was ever in existence." And I'm just telling you, man, your accent is like your. He goes, "But I'm from England," and I'm like, "Yeah, but you sound like you're faking it. It sounds terrible, right?" And like through this whole thing, what were we just talking about again?
Epic Mealtime.
Epic Mealtime. So this other guy just says something, shut up, you need a gay bacon strip. And I was like, gay bacon strips. Bacon strips.
Those are fantastic. I love them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I was like, gay bacon strips. And the guy goes, oh, do you know what that's from? And I was like, I'm the South's boss. And he goes, yes.
It's okay, officer. They were vegans.
Did you ever watch the Halloween episode of that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. If you're a horror fan, that is actually a good episode to watch because they actually eat brains.
Mm-hmm. So what they did was they had the spin-off of it, which was like an actual cooking show. And they for Shark Week, they made something called Human Chum.
Okay.
So it is a layer of melted chocolate.
Okay.
A layer of candied bacon.
Ooh.
A layer of homemade caramel.
Okay.
A layer of vodka marshmallows.
Oh my God.
And a layer of chocolate on top.
So, but that's where you soak the marshmallows in vodka, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long do you soak them for?
Not the very long. You just impart the flavor into the marshmallows, but each layer you freeze along the way.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And the way I make caramel is it doesn't freeze. So it's you cut it into bars and it's just a gooey piece of candy, bacon, marshmallow, vodka, chocolate, and I will not eat it.
I want this.
I've been told it's really good, but I will refuse.
I'm sure it's always a I've been told, because this is coming from a man that does not eat chocolate, but we'll make chocolate deliciousness for everyone else.
Oh, I absolutely make chocolate cheesecake.
Oh my god, man,
I like make full on New York style cheesecake, like
that's awesome.
like pounds of cream cheese. But I always do like turtle cheesecake as well, which I refuse to eat. But I do it.
I love turtle anything. It's something about like the caramel and the consistency of it that just makes me like love anything that's that's turtle.
Yeah. All right. So, you ready for this bracket? All things spoopy.
Absolutely.
Now that we made everyone hungry.
I know. I know. Everybody's probably angry in the chat right now. Like, I hate you all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at Instagram right now. Like 3 people in there on Instagram right now, but like nobody's talking, so I can't tell if anybody's angry with us for that.
They'll let us know if they're hangry now.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So for our horror comedy bracket, first up, to recap what we had from last time, the chat very disappointed me, and I had to drink myself into a stupor, where Tremors beat out Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I can understand why you're angry about that.
Yeah. Freaky beat out the Final Girls because no one saw the Final Girls, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's sad because
it stars Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Oh my god, it sounds like an amazing movie, but just nobody saw it.
Mm-hmm. Happy Death Day beat out Totally Killer, which is great. Bobo Hotep beat out Lisa Frankenstein. Fantastic. My Name is Bruce beat out Bodies, because that movie was atrocious. Other than you get to see Pete Davidson die a stupid death. So, first up for today, we have the OG Gremlins versus What We Do in the Shadows.
The movie, right?
The movie, yes. Came out 2014.
Right. Okay. The original Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, or What We Do in the Shadows. So both of those are fucking good.
They are.
Yeah.
They are absolutely amazing. My vote, hands down, is What We Do in the Shadows.
And that's kind of where I'm leaning, just because if we're going for what's the better comedy, like Gremlins was a horror movie that had comedy elements in it, whereas What We Do in the Shadows is a true blue fucking, it is a comedy that just happens to have horror elements in it. So it's like and especially it's fucking like, it is laugh out loud funny.
So my story, yeah, I'm definitely doing What We Do in the Shadows, because I remember watching it at my buddy's house, and I went home. I told my wife, like, "Hey, guess what we're doing now? We're watching What We Do in the Shadows." I watched it twice in one night because the first time I saw it was just so hilarious. I go, "This is absolutely amazing." To the point now that I've watched, all 6 seasons of What We Do in the Shadows. I watched the spinoff Wellington Paranormal, which had more Reese Darby in it. It's just the 2 cops from the movie. Imagine the TV show Cops, but the New Zealand cops from What We Do in the Shadows, and them talking to all the supernatural stuff that's happened in New Zealand.
Right. That sounds absolutely funny, man. I definitely want to watch that.
Yeah.
Or the show. I've watched the movie, but I only watched like bits and pieces of the show.
You need to watch the show.
Yeah, and obviously the movie I watched because at the time I would watch anything that Taika Waititi has worked on.
Yeah. So what are you going with then?
I think I don't. The thing is, I don't want to get rid of Gremlins, man. It's kind of, it's one of those shows that one of those movies that means a lot to me. So it gets kind of hard to say like, oh, which one do I vote in? You know what I mean? But What We Do in the Shadows is definitely the funnier of the two.
Oh yeah, it's more quotable for sure. What We Do in the Shadows
absolutely is.
So Sandra, it's What We Do in the Shadows versus Gremlins. So yeah, it's kind of what I think. Like it's for me, like I said, it's What We Do. Show. I love Gremlins, no end.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man. Bruce will vote because Jeff can't.
Yeah, and that's why I said Sandra asked what the vote was. Right now it's 1-1, so it may be that Till's a breaking tie right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to get I'm trying to post right now to get people to join.
I really need Frey in here too, considering she wanted this topic with the suggestions I put out there.
I know. I think tonight is hubby night though.
Yeah. Wow.
Dad says Gremlins. She didn't like Shadow. What We Do in the Shadows. Bruce likes Gremlins. Oh my god! I think again. I'll go either way. I like both. I think that What We Do in the Shadows is the funnier of the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Don't disturb me while I'm doing my dark bidding. He's just bidding on eBay.
Again, there's something about early Taika Waititi because that was his first project, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something about early Taika Waititi's like sense of humor and like the sarcasm and the way that he writes his jokes that completely gravitates me towards that entire property.
Yeah.
And I know he was just an executive producer on the show, right? He wasn't actually involved with the show.
I mean, yeah, him and Jermaine also made appearances in the show a couple of times. So,
okay.
Like I said, this is how much I love What We Do in the Shadows, despite Gremlins winning here. Is I have We're Werewolves, not Swearwolves shirt.
We're werewolves.
You're right.
Werewolves.
I also have, and this is Peter, and he changed me, and we're still friends to this day. I have 2 What We Do in the Shadows shirts, 0 Gremlins. So, but Gremlins is moving on.
Again, I'm not upset with that. Like, I don't have a problem with Gremlins taking that. I feel like this. I mean, this was already not a bad vote in like people's choices. Just this is it's pretty early on for these two properties.
It is. All right. Well, I guess we can continue to avoid the sunlight, not eat after midnight. So, next up, we have Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead, aka New Zealand's version of Evil Dead by Peter Jackson, versus Wolfman's Got Nards.
Oh God. Did that make it? No, wait, this is a different bracket.
This is the first round.
That's what I'm saying. This is a different bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So it might get redeemed in this one, man.
Get Aaron Watson here. We need him. I don't disagree, Tater.
We need you here. We're talking about Monster Squad. Let's go.
Yeah. So anyone who doesn't know Dead Alive, it's one of Peter Jackson's earliest films. And instead of using a chainsaw, the guy uses a lawnmower to hack up zombies. It's also referenced in every Peter Jackson movie that exists.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Do they reference it in Lord of the Rings?
They do.
What's the reference to it?
I have to look it up, but it's definitely in there. Like, is even King Kong. One of the crates in the King Kong on the boat where King Kong was transported was a crate of the sick rat that bit the mother to create mutants or zombies. And you also have a priest in New Zealand that fights the undead doing kung fu moves in the cemetery that goes, "I kick ass for the Lord."
Okay. In the Lord of the Rings, there are several groups of dead or undead characters, including the Oathbreakers, also known as the Forgotten. Oh, I think this is actually talking about like actual undead.
Yeah, it is. I'm going Dead Alive just because it's New Zealand's version of Evil Dead.
Okay, no, it's right here. So when they kill Sauron,
Mm-hmm.
so is he really dead for good?
Yep.
That's the reference in Lord of the Rings to that movie.
Mm-hmm. If you want to see a man burst out of his mutated mom who became a 20-foot rat and cuts himself out of her womb with a cross, that's the movie for you. I mean, I don't know how else to sell it.
It's definitely a you movie.
I mean, it's not just a me movie. It made Peter Jackson be noticed by people. So.
But I mean, this is definitely the kind of movie that is on your radar of movies to watch.
Oh, easily. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch Dead Alive. Hands down. It's if you like the New Zealand of Watiti, but with gore and just gallons of blood, that movie's perfect for you. So what do you say, Phil, though?
Brain Dead or Monster Squad?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fully aware I'm probably the only one that's seen Dead Alive, aka Brain Dead. So yeah.
And I mean, it's going up against Monster Squad, arguably. Like it was one of those movies that it was upsetting that we took it out in the kids thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also because of what that went up against. So
yeah. And let's face it, they had The Boys Are Back, and they're wearing Adidas. That's Monster Squad. Bruce Monster Squad. Ooh. Sandra's saying Dead Alive. Love it.
Looks like Sandra's seen it.
Yes. It's Mezzo.
Mezzo. Yay! Mezzo, are you a horror fan?
She is. She likes horror, but if you ask Mezzo, she probably has a list for me that's 150 deep at this point in time.
Of movies that you need to watch?
That she needs to watch.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. She probably may have seen Monster Squad.
I mean,
definitely not Dead Alive.
That's a movie that a lot of us watched as kids. So, I mean,
so what say you, Phil? You're the tiebreaker right now.
I'm the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to go Monster Squad, man. I'm sorry.
She does like horror. It's not her main. Yeah. But she just, like I said, my list for her is oh, she's getting work done for somebody. I don't know who it would potentially be. Thank you, Mezzo. She's working on States Unknown stuff for us right now.
Yeah.
So, all right, Monster Squad does move on.
How are we doing with the theme song?
It's done.
You got it already?
Yeah. The only issue is right now is the TV guy that did reality TV show died a couple days ago.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it puts a little bit of hindrance into it, but we're still moving forward. All right. So Monster Squad presses on. Next up, we have Salem's ultimate all-time favorite horror movie, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What did it give you? A 0.000001.
Yes, there's 5 zeros and 1. Yeah, that was the biggest spread we ever had.
He hated that movie so much.
He waited till 2024 to watch it the very first time. I mean, let's face it, that's his fault.
I think he resents you for making him watch. I think he resents you for making him watch a lot of movies, but I mean, like,
yeah,
that one in particular, man.
It's almost like we watch bad movies,
so that we don't have to.
Right? I make him watch them. All right, so Killer Clowns from Outer Space versus Death Becomes Her.
Oh, why does that sound so familiar?
Because it's Goldie Hawn, Meryl Streep, and Bruce Willis.
Oh, is that the one where Goldie Hawn's a zombie and comes back and
he creates an elixir to bring people back to life.
Right. Okay.
1991.
Yes. Okay. I think I actually rewatched that recently.
It's a fantastic movie. As a kid, I didn't realize that was Bruce Willis.
Yeah. Isn't Bruce Willis like cross-dressing at one point in that movie? No, Bruce Willis. Never mind. Bruce Willis has hair in that movie.
That's what makes him really hard to check.
Right. That's what it was. I was like, what is it about Bruce Willis that was so different in that movie? That's right. He had hair.
Mm-hmm. As Metza pointed out, they're not zombies, but the elixir keeps them from dying. Yeah. I said I love Death Becomes Her. It's just something that like is I feel like is wildly popular when it came out and then just faded from into obscurity.
Kind of weird, yeah.
Yes, he also had the mustache. Thank you, Tater.
So one more. It was Death Becomes Her and what?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh God. Okay. A movie so bad it was good.
I mean, you heard my story about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's a fray.
The fray is in the fray.
She is.
Woo!
Thank you, Frey. Yeah. So, it's looking like Mezzo. Are you saying Death Becomes Her is your pick? What's your pick, Phil?
I think I'm gonna go with Death Becomes Her, just because when you said Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I was like, okay, I'm gonna vote for that. And then you said Death Becomes Her, and it's like, oh no, wait, that movie was good. It was actually like it was saliently funny. It was it actually was very well put together. I think that movie overall, I think, takes it for me on this particular bracket.
Yeah. Damn it, Killer Clowns loses again.
And again, it wasn't because, like, like, oh yeah, fuck that movie. Like, I'm not going like Salem route and saying the movie was fucking terrible. Fuck that movie. It was more just it just went up against a superior movie.
All right. All right. So Frey, if you're listening, this is your choice. A man in search of a Twinkie while fighting hordes of zombies and dealing with Jesse Eisenberg. So Zombieland versus Frau Bruja. Lightning. Young Frankenstein.
Oh! Okay, I don't know why. I just opened up bag number 11 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm on bag number 7.
It's because you didn't have your dose of our sponsor, Dubby.
Apparently not, because now I've got a bunch of pieces that I can't use right now.
I mean, I agree with Frey. Young Frankenstein all day. I love Zombieland. I adore Zombieland to no end. But Young Frankenstein is the pinnacle of Mel Brooks's comedies.
Oh my god. Best scene in just movie history. The putting on the Ritz at the end of that movie. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
Again, I love Zombieland. One of the best openings to any movie. You know, like you got for whom the bell tolls just playing out of nowhere, and then him just explaining the rules, and it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, rule number 1: cardio.
Yes. So Frey, I have a question for you then, because I was asked this on my show a couple weeks ago from a guy who has the original artwork from Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
what national brand is on the cliffside in Young Frankenstein's poster? Do you know? I'll see if Frey knows.
I don't know. Fun fact, and this may make you think different of her. Jackie does not like Mel Brooks movies, but she likes Mel Brooks. If that makes any sense.
So does she like Get Smart then?
So she doesn't like anything that done. She doesn't like any of his work. What it is she sees him talk on documentaries, and she likes, you know, his old school sensibility and everything like that.
Yeah,
but she doesn't like slapstick movies. She doesn't like, you know, like comedies in that way. She would prefer, like, you know, if she's watching a comedy, that it's like, you know, like somebody wrote a joke comedy and not slapstick, you know, funny, wacky stuff. And that I was trying to ask her because she also doesn't like Monty Python. I know, exactly. And it hurts me every time she tells me that she doesn't like Monty Python, but it's like, she doesn't like Monty Python. She doesn't like Mel Brooks movies. I asked her, you know, so in that vein, if you don't like slapstick, do you not like Abbott and Costello? Because that is also kind of like, you know, the realm, that's where they came from, where all this came from, right? Was like, you know, all influenced by Abbott and Costello, and
it's all vaudeville.
Right. And she said she like, it's not her first choice.
Interesting.
You know, so it's like, that's not the stuff that she would want to go watch.
Yeah. Oh, so the answer to that trivia question it was the Golden Arches McDonald's, by the way.
Oh, is it?
It was asked to be removed from all advertising.
That's funny.
Yeah, like
that's such a Mel Brooks joke.
Oh, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Phil, you can tell LeJack that pains me deeply as a guy who was in the rafters above an auditorium when putting on a Halloween show in the high school that did the Black Knight scene. It had body parts being thrown from the rafters.
I love that so much. That's one of my favorite movies, man. Monty Python Holy Grail is easily one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it's like one of those things I can't bond with her over. Like, she loves movies from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, right? Does not care for comedy of that era.
It's so dry wit, and I love it.
That's what I love about him, though. I think that's like one of the things I love about Monty Python is just the dry wit and just some of the jokes and how blatantly stupid they are. Like, specifically when I talk about blatantly stupid jokes, right? The Killer Rabbit of Kanbanong is a stupid joke. right? And how do we stop him? The holy hand grenade. The holy hand grenade of Antioch. Like, that is the dumbest joke. It is fucking funny.
And what do you have to count to by when throwing the holy hand grenade?
No more than 3. No more than 3. The number of counting shall be 3.
1, 2, 5, 3.
Oh shit!
Yes, I was one of those annoying theater kids that bought a coconut to drain it and hollow out, and literally went through stores making horses.
Okay, so I have always said that I want Tyler to walk behind me with coconuts.
Oh, yes.
When I am Deadpool at cons.
Mm-hmm.
And now that he has a costume, so now he has Hydra Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Right? How funny would it be if Hydra Bob follows Deadpool with coconuts?
Deadpool would absolutely have him do that.
He would
absolutely have him do that.
100%. 100%. Deadpool would make Hydra Bob follow him with coconuts.
Oh, easily. Is that new, Mike? It is new to me. I still have my old one, Frey, but now that I get that rich podcaster money, wait, no, yes,
You're getting,
rich.
You're getting podcaster money. You're getting paid.
No, I got a birthday though, so.
Yeah.
All right, so Young Frankenstein's moving on. Next up, if Tater's still here, Transylvania, 5,000.
Transylvania 5,000.
Oh, sorry, 6-5,000. Jeff Goldblum, Gina Davis.
Oh, okay.
Versus Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah. Dale versus Evil. I think that was a request that he asked. He had, right?
It was.
Yeah, he said specifically he wanted that to be on this list.
Mm-hmm. And it's on the list. That's Watson. Yeah, Transylvania 5,000 for Watson. Tucker and Dale.
Yes.
All day long. Hey, college kids, we got your friend.
Oh God, Tucker and Dale versus Evil was such a ridiculous movie.
Loved it to no end. It has no right to be as good as it is.
It really doesn't. It has no right to be as good as it is.
Yeah. It's as someone that loves slashers, right? This is the ultimate point of view switch for slashers, and it's hands down is one of the best horror comedies of all time, I think. Is that the Pumpkin King?
We've got Jack Skellington. It's funny is this is the first time I've seen a Lego character that had long legs too.
Oh,
they gave him long legs.
So Phil, are you going Tucker and Dale?
I'm going Tucker and Dale.
Yeah.
Nothing against nothing against Transylvania, but I mean Tucker and Dale. That was one of those movies that was a runaway hit.
Like, I wish I thought of that.
I remember that popping up in my Netflix feed and me going, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh, these kids start killing themselves.
It was one of those movies that I expected to be more of a horror movie than it was, and ended up just being stupid funny. This is also me fresh off a Trailer Park Boy, so I was already I was already prone to that kind of comedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was. My story, Tuckdale versus Evil, is when I was getting my arm tattoo done. I was talking to my tattoo artist as I'm doing my horror sleeve. He goes, "This is probably 2015." He's like, have you ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil? I go, no. I watched them like, holy shit. Like, that is perfect.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil ended up being, again, it's kind of a runaway hit. It's one of those movies you don't expect to be as good as it is.
And that's the thing. Like, I could see those two teaming up with Ash Williams.
Absolutely.
Hands down. I want to see Tucker and Dale go to the Evil Dead cabin. Because their vacation home burnt down. So they got to go someplace else, right? All right. Next up, we have Saturday the 14th versus This Is the End.
Oh God, This Is the End is so. That's another movie that had no business being as good as it was.
Correct. Yeah,
because that movie was fucking funny.
Oh, it absolutely is hysterical. I love Saturday the 14th. Don't get me wrong. It is a great parody of Friday the 13th. It was one of the first parody movies of horror movies that came out in the 80s. Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. But This Is the End. It's just
the amount of celebrity cameos they got to do this movie. And not only that, like just the way that they do it, just kind of I love the amount of sense of humor that a lot of these actors have, where they're just like, a lot of them are making fun of themselves. Like,
oh yeah,
Michael Cera's character.
You never looked at drinking a juice box the same, do you?
No, absolutely not. But I mean, like Michael Cera's character in that movie. And then when you hear the interview of like when they approached him and how he wanted to do it, he goes, "I'm only going to do this movie if I can be an asshole." Mm-hmm. And I thought that was the greatest.
Oh yeah, did we just get robbed by fucking Hermione? Oh man, that is hands down one of the best things it did. You really felt for Jay too, right?
Yeah.
Like it almost feels like that a little bit hits close to home with his success versus Seth's, right?
What's funny is like that's kind of the character Jay Baruchel plays in like every movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's originally off of the short they did of Seth and Jay versus the Apocalypse.
Right.
Frey says this is one of her favorite brackets. Well, Frey, I hope so. I made it just for you. So This Is the End does move on. I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Now, we're going to come into what you may or may not disagree with, the ultimate parody horror comedy that exists. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Scary Movie.
Oh, God.
All of them versus the Abbott and Costello Meet.
So we're saying like every Abbott and Costello Meets movies
versus all the Scary Movies.
Oh God. The first couple Scary Movies were fucking amazing. The one when the Wayans brothers were still involved.
There's only two of them, yes.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like the first couple, right? Like the first two movies were great. After that, it just got really weird and wacky.
Yeah.
And kind of like at that point, they were just looking for excuses to get a laugh.
Yep.
With like some of it just being like forced, right?
Yes.
The first two movies were fucking funny, man. Like, just anytime you get Marlon Wayans playing like just a pothead, it's always great.
Scary Movie versus Abbott and Costello Meet. Insert name here. There's four of them they did. They were the tail end of the classic Universal monster movies where they met the Frankenstein, they met Dracula, they met the Wolfman.
Didn't they meet the creature?
They did. I have the entire box set on Laserdisc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, I love them, right? It's Universal Monsters.
Yeah.
But like the first two Scary Movies, like especially the first one, is so perfect as a parody movie.
Right. Which I mean, that's essentially their entire career.
Yeah.
Everything about Jane or about anytime you have a franchise that they start,
Mm-hmm.
the Marlins, like when or the Marlins, the Waynes, when anytime you get a franchise that the Waynes brothers start, and then Hollywood is like, we need to keep these movies going, and then they continue them and they fucking suck after they're done
Mm-hmm.
after they leave. You know, like that's kind of like they're always good in the first couple of movies, and this is again a perfect example of that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Sandra Scary Movie went downhill after Wayne's left, but
Run, bitch, run!
obviously, for me as a classic Universal monster lover that I am, the Abbott Costello was to me a black mark in that world. Right? It only took 9 years for it to become a parody, and it's to become a comedy. And I discussed this with I don't know how many people at this point in time. And this is why I have issues with Werewolf by Night. Is for that part, because this took a lot from Abbott and Costello. Werewolf by Night did. The movies are fantastic, but I think they just destroyed the Universal monster cinema universe that existed back then.
Okay.
But let's face it, Scary Movie 5 was just so bad. It was so atrocious. I love Leslie Nielsen. They roped him into these movies before he died, long superhero movie, and they also killed the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I already was not watching those movies anymore.
Right.
You know, like that franchise was fine before they started doing a lot of like what they did with those movies. Like they didn't need to continue it the way that they did.
No, it became cash grabs, and let's face it, not horror movies.
Right.
They parodied Rex Shepard, or whatever his name is, that was in it, right? That played the Joaquin Phoenix from Signs in the parody of it.
Yeah.
They paired 8 Mile. What does that have to do with scary movies?
It had nothing to do with scary movies, and I think part of that's why they started doing the other parody movies is because they realized, okay, we can't keep putting these all in scary movie, and let's start putting these in other, like let's make franchise things. So that's where they started doing epic movie and superhero movie and all these fucking
Meet the Spartans.
Oh my god, that Meet the Spartans was the pinnacle of why the fuck are we doing this?
And they wrote poor Diedrich Bader into it too. Poor Oswald from Drew Carey Show.
Back then, Diedrich Bader was doing anything that would get him money, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he wasn't who he is now, where he actually has like a lot of respect.
Yeah,
because Diedrich Bader is actually a good actor, and I think he parodied Batman a lot, and now he is Batman at this point.
Yes. Yeah, but for that all being said, I'm still going Abbott Costello because the franchise was stronger than Scary Movie.
Yeah.
What do you think, Phil?
I don't know, because like the Scary Movie franchise was something that kind of was a runaway hit. Like it was not intention to be one of those things where like they were hoping people were going to like it. I think they were actually hoping it was going to flop, and it actually did really well.
Yeah.
But Abbott and Costello, man,
they're classic.
It's classic. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with well, we're talking franchises overall. I think I'm gonna go with Abbott and Costello. I was gonna say because the first 2 Scary Movie movies are definitely I would argue are funnier, but because of the type of sensibility that we have and what the, like the type of comedy they were able to do.
Yes,
with that, and I feel like that those were better comedies, but it was just the first 2 movies.
Correct.
And overall, if we're going over if we're comparing franchises, The Abbott and Costello franchise is way better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I go with Abbott and Costello.
Yeah, all of chat agrees. Aaron Watson says you can't put it against Scary Movie because it's not fair. So
yeah, because
right.
like I said, like there's my germs.
Exactly. Grab my strong hand.
Again, another amazing performance, right? Like just the way he played that character was fucking great.
I'm not gonna lie. If my wife ever watches our show, she'll hate me for it. But she always goes, "Watch out for my booty."
Watch out for my booty.
All right, so Abbott Costello, move on. Next up, God, another Mel Brooks epitome parody movie, Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Yes.
Yeah. Versus though, The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh. Oh no! Would you consider Cabin in the Woods a comedy?
I would consider everything done on the underground bunker comedy. I would consider, yes, the Joss Whedon one, Mezzo. I would consider the archetypes comedic.
Okay. Because I mean, that did start off as like a serious horror movie,
right? But it's the same thing. It's to me, yeah. Hell, Watson says, "Hell yeah, it's a horror comedy." Like it's no different than Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, because well, like I said, it starts off as an actual horror movie and then evolves into a comedy.
Yeah, I mean, I love the explanation of why everyone does stupid ass things in slasher movies.
Yeah,
This is interesting because chat is split on this, and I was expecting that too. Like when I saw the RNG team this up, go, this is gonna be a good one.
Dracula Dead and Loving It was one of my favorite movies as I was younger, which should say a lot that it was one of my favorite movies when I was younger. It's the kind of like, kid fucking, comedy enjoyment. I loved Mel Brooks movies when I was a kid. And Dracula Dead and Loving It, the way that Leslie Nielsen plays the character.
He plays it perfectly.
Yeah. Renfield was fucking amazing. Like, did you just eat a cricket?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lives.
Again, Mel Brooks' writing is unparalleled, man. And it's just kind of like, I want to go Dracula Dead and Loving It just because I have so much attachment to that movie. Just Mel Brooks, the way he wrote it. But at the same time, no, but we're going for what's the better comedy? No, I'm going Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah.
I'm trying to justify Cabin in the Woods in my head because it's such a good movie, but it's like, no, but we're not going over what's the better movie. We're going over what's the better comedy.
Yeah.
And Dracula Dead and Loving It is definitely the better comedy between the two.
Yeah, so Sandra, it's Dracula Dead and Loving It versus The Cabin in the Woods. And like I said, The Cabin in the Woods is such a meta horror comedy, and that's why I love the movie to no end.
Yeah.
And yes, and Peter McNichol is a fantastic Renfield. He is Renfield. I don't care. We got a little bit of Tom Waits in Bram Stoker's Dracula, right?
Yeah.
But Dracula was a perfect parody to Gary Oldman's movie.
It was 100%. It was, and they were definitely making fun of Gary Oldman. So it's just like,
oh yeah. And I think because Leslie Nielsen's line delivery is so dry, he says the most funny things, but he is the straight man.
Yeah,
and I love it.
Just there's something about Leslie Nielsen being the straight man in a movie that's just like that is just off, but like enjoyable,
Yeah, I mean, he did bless to know that we're all counting on you. Good luck.
When he goes in their bedroom and he's like trying to like suck on her neck, but she keeps like moving, and then eventually takes a straw and just starts drinking out of her neck.
Mm-hmm. He's mostly dead. I think he's dead enough.
I think he's dead enough.
Oh God, this is hard for me. In case you haven't noticed, I haven't said anything yet either. God. Ooh, that is a hot take there, Frey.
Oh, what did she say?
She likes Leslie Nielsen better in Dracula than Naked Gun.
That is a bit of a hot take. I don't know if I 100% disagree with her though.
Ooh,
I love Naked Gun. I love the Naked Gun movies. That's
Police Squad, the TV show, 6 episodes.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, aside from what he ends up doing in his life later, fucking Juice actually had a good performance in that movie.
Not better than the Airplanes movies. Ooh. That's a hot take, too. All right, Phil. I'm going Cabin in the Woods just because I got to stick to my. I know we're going for comedy, but the comedic stuff, like I said, Amy Acker and the villain from Billy Madison are just perfect in this. They're comedic all the way. And the guy who was in Dollhouse, Josh Whedon's Dollhouse, right? That was the hacker that was played the stoner. He played essentially Shaggy from Scooby-Doo in Cabin in the Woods. Before Matthew Lillard took over, I go, that's our Shaggy. He'd be the best Shaggy in the entire world.
And then Matthew Lillard fucking killed it.
He did too, yeah. I want both of them to be Shaggy.
Fucking killed it, man.
Yeah. But Matthew Lillard's now more in demand for fucking FNAF than anything else. So
yeah.
So Phil, you are the tiebreaker here.
Oh no, I said Dracula Dead and loving it, man.
All right. Well,
I was like, I'm the tiebreaker because I already said Dracula Dead and loving it.
All right. I don't drink wine. All right. Next up, we have a name so evil, so heinous, you can't say it 3 times.
Oh God, I hope this wins.
Versus Shaun of the Dead.
Oh no! Come on! Are you serious?
I am dead serious. It is Beetlejuice versus Shaun of the Dead.
God damn, man! This is the worst matchup.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if you really go through this list, there's not duds generally in this list, and that's the problem.
They're both fucking classics, man.
Ooh, 2 votes for Shaun. Yeah, I don't disagree, Watson. This is tough. Said, oh man, the so fuck hard. Fuck.
How do you make a movie like one of the best zombie movies ever made, and it wasn't intended to be a serious zombie movie?
Oh yeah, it hands down beats Zack Snyder's zombie movie. But the question is,
hey, well, just
what's a better comedy?
I was gonna say to throw it out there. Army of the Dead wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but I mean, that was probably one of Zack Snyder's better movies.
I was talking about Dawn of the Dead that he did a year after Shaun of the Dead.
Did he do that Dawn of the Dead remake?
He did. It's his first like live action movie.
I didn't realize that he did that. Is that the one that was in the mall?
It is.
That one was okay. I wouldn't like. It's one of those movies that I like. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go rewatch that version of Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like that, and that's the problem. Both are so absolutely quotable to no end, which is what a comedy is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
I I have to go Shaun of the Dead just because it is something that I watch more.
I don't know. Both of those movies are movies that I watch like on a yearly basis.
Okay, let's put it this way: what has a better musical number, Deo and Beetlejuice, or they're beating the guy at the bar in rhythm to Killer Queen?
Not just that, the DJ scene when he's like actually like DJing in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a good like music scene.
Yeah.
God, so hard. I don't like this one. I don't like this one. I don't want to vote either of them off.
Mm-hmm. And so if you know your Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, right? If you watch Spaced, right? Yeah. If you watch the Resident Evil episode, you can see their inspiration for Shaun of the Dead. And Shaun of the Dead to me is I can watch way more than Beetlejuice. Like I've seen Beetlejuice a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I own both of those movies, so I mean, like,
oh yeah, but this is hard.
Yeah, it is.
So,
like I said, both movies that like I not only like watch, but also movies that I will watch just randomly over the course of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do I want to watch right now? Put on Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Beetlejuice is the same way. Like, I'll just randomly put that on because there's so much good nostalgia in Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Oh God, is the chat like completely split on this one?
No. 2 for Beetlejuice.
So mostly everybody's voting for Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh, Mezzo saying Beetlejuice. If that's the case, then it's a tie. So Phil, it's up to you.
Now that makes it even worse because I was about to say my answer.
I
think I came up with an answer, and now that just puts all the pressure on me.
It does.
Okay, well, here's my answer.
Mm-hmm.
Might disappoint some, not disappoint others.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going Shaun of the Dead.
All right.
And the reason I'm going Shaun of the Dead is because there's something about the quick cuts and almost like action scene quick cuts to nothing.
Yes.
That makes that just gives it that much more fun. You know, like you have these quick cut scenes making it seem like, you know, he's loading up and getting ready to fight and he's just eating a fucking ice cream bar.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
He's just eating a Coronetta.
Yep.
You know, so it's like shit like that. Like it's those types of jokes, right? Or I mean, there are like emotional scenes. There's something about when his stepdad turns and he actually it actually bothers him as much as he didn't like his stepdad.
Right. He goes, that's not Phil. And he turns off the radio still for the loud music. Yeah, it was.
You know, like there are like slight emotional scenes and just the way it was written. You know, of course, the beautiful chemistry that is fucking Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. So I mean, like,
mm-hmm.
I think ultimately that's why I go with Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I watched Hot Fuzz because I thought it was a sequel.
Oh yeah.
And then Hot Fuzz was one of those movies that I was pleasantly surprised. Like, well, this is not a zombie movie, but this is still just as good.
Oh yeah. Yarp.
And then just like the random yarp.
Yep. All right. So Shaun then moves on. And before we get to this hardest one of the night, Frey has a request for you, Phil. She wants you to speak French to her.
You want me to speak French to you? That is
All
the
right.
bad French accent in question from Thursday night.
Ah. All right, Frey. This is going to be the hardest one for you of all time, if you're listening. Hubie Halloween.
Oh, God.
Have you watched that?
I have, actually.
It's not bad.
It's okay. Very, very, very Adam Sandler when he's like riding the bike and fucking vomiting down the street.
Uh-huh.
Because for some reason his character eats hot soup everywhere he goes. It's weird.
Yes. All right. So Hubie Halloween versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, the OG with
There's only been one movie.
yeah, with what's her name? Karate Kid. What is the name I'm looking for right now?
Christy Swanson.
Christy Swanson.
And Pee Wee Herman as he gets killed, who looks like Tom Savini. Ooh, ah, ee, ah. I know. This is gonna be a tough vote, chat. I want you to take your time and think about it.
Was that Paul Rubens?
It was.
I haven't watched that movie in years, but I mean
he looks like fucking Tom Savini. That's the joke.
Tom Savini specifically in what movie?
Yes. Tom Savini. I just watched Terrifier 3. Tom Savini still looks like Tom Savini.
Yep. Just and I know everybody has like their thoughts on like, you know, where they know Tom Savini from.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately think of from Deso Dawn.
Yes.
That's like the only picture in my mind anytime I think of Tom Savini is him as a fucking, you know, biker with a gun on his dick.
How does it fire?
I saw a meme a while back that like had somebody like draw like you know they drew a thing of like how he like makes that work, because they just show him like you know, sit there and the gun comes out, and somebody drew like a sketch of the dick wrapped around the trigger. And the caption is, he must do a lot of cock push-ups.
3 at a time. Yeah. It's good that Buffy the Vampire Slayer started your Buffy obsession. I don't know how you started before that.
What year did that movie come out? It was late 80s, right?
1994.
94?
3 years before the Buffy TV show started.
That movie was that late? I thought it was earlier than that.
Yeah. I have way too many movies and dates in my head. It's absurd.
Yeah. I thought Buffy. I thought the movie came out like in the 80s, and then they finally decided to make a show.
No, for sure. All right. Oh, that is our first round done. It is 9:52 where I'm at. Let's continue this bracket, shall we?
Go. Let's do this.
All right. Do I smell bacon and underground worms? Named graboids?
Oh, God.
That's right. We have Tremors, which beat out Evil Dead 2 as a better comedy movie. Throwing it out there. Versus The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Tremors versus The Burbs.
Thanks, Frey, for confirming I am correct. I appreciate it. Frey's always there to correct me if I need to be corrected. Taylor said the series started for him. I definitely had a crush on Christy Swanson from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So
I had a crush on her predecessor.
I mean, I didn't say I didn't have that too. I'm just saying.
I'm sure everybody, man and woman, had a crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar.
What do you mean had?
Have, but he still has a crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, like I said, chat saying it's yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. So Tremors was fantastic. I love Tremors no end as well. I think Tremors 2 with you know the essentially Baxter Stockton versions of them, the Mousers.
The Baxter Stockman version.
Tell me they don't look like Mousers.
That's pretty funny, actually. Mouse.
They're fucking Mousers, right? That's yeah. Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah. It's we have a couple of votes for the Burbs. One for Tremors. I love all these movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them. There hasn't been a movie on this list I haven't seen multiple times.
Right.
But the Burbs is for comedic side is definitely more comedic than Tremors.
Yeah.
I remember, I think the first time I watched Tremors, the original one when I was a kid, it scared the shit out of me. And I remember when Tremors 2 came out and we rented it as at a friend's house. I don't know if I'm able to watch this because last time I saw it scared the shit out of me. But the Burbs is like, what if Princess Leia and Tom Hanks moved next to the Addams family? So the Burbs has my vote. How about you, Phil?
I feel like the premise for Tremors is what makes it funny. I don't think like it never felt like an intentionally funny movie. Like it felt like one of those movies that they're like kind of like the little quippy scenes and whatnot, but for the most part, the graboids are meant to actually be scary.
Yes.
So I don't feel like I feel like The Burbs is a movie that was more intentionally funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I go with The Burbs just because of the premise of what we're voting on right now.
Yeah. And if for anyone who hasn't played Zombies Ate My Neighbors, level 25, I believe, is the Graboids episode.
Yeah.
Which was hard as hell.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors, man. That what a callback for a game.
You call it a callback. I didn't play it this year, so it's one of those things I play a lot. So, All right. So the Burbs does move on. All right. Next up, we have Freaky, which is Vince Vaughn swapping places with Ant-Man's daughter in a Freaky Friday slasher comedy versus Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day.
For anyone who hasn't seen Freaky, if you want to see Vince Vaughn at his peak comedy playing a 16-year-old girl, it's perfect. While Catherine Newman-Jones plays a serial killer, essentially.
Because they trade places.
Yes, Matt. So Happy Death Day was Groundhog Day. Yes. The horror Groundhog Day. Of course, I would say having to see Poxwani Phil every day pretty horrific.
Is the war itself.
Yeah. I love both of these to no end. I do like Freaky more just because Vince Vaughn really just nails it. What about you, Phil?
I think I'm going Freaky. One of those movies where like the idea of it, the premise of it is what kind of sells it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like Vince Vaughn gets to play a 16-year-old girl while a 16-year-old girl gets to play a 40
serial killer.
40-ish-year-old man serial killer.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Phrasing. I thought Edge of Tomorrow was the horror version of Groundhog Day.
Oh, Edge of Tomorrow is the horror version of Edge of Tomorrow.
I love Edge of Tomorrow. It's the quintessential sci-fi version, for sure. But as I said, I seem to be the only person that seems to like Edge of Tomorrow. So
I didn't have a problem with it. I also wasn't like, oh, this is the most amazing movie ever. I have to go watch this 1,000 times. Like it was it.
All right, but Happy Death Day does move on. Now, this pains me to say this next one because it's two fantastic movies.
Oh God.
Bubba Hotep.
Oh no.
Versus My Name is Bruce.
Oh God, it's two movies that he loves. There are two movies starring men that he loves. Man.
Oh, it's the same man.
I was gonna say men, no way, a man that he loves.
And one of them I did go see in Chicago on opening night with Bruce Campbell. So I'm just saying.
So that's My Name is Bruce.
Yes.
I am voting for Bubba Hotep.
How come?
Because everything in that movie is fucking hilarious. just his performance as fucking
Elvis,
Black JFK.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the mummy just coming after them. Like this, just everything about that movie was just fucking great.
And sucking the souls of old people out of their asses. Yeah.
Sucking the souls of old people right out of their asses. Again, this was one of those indie movies that I watched and was like, what the fuck am I watching? Oh my God, don't turn this off.
Okay. Do you want to hear something really funny about Bubba Hotep?
Yeah.
It's the same guy who created Battlestar Galactica in 2003.
Right.
Yep. Bruce, Mark Verhoeven, I think is his name. And
to Paul?
What?
Is he related to Paul Verhoeven?
I don't know. But it's because of his work with Bubba Hotep that everyone thought that Bruce Campbell was going to be the 13th Cylon in Battlestar Galactica.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And the sequel is going to be Bubba versus Frankenstein.
That would have been fucking great.
Yeah.
Why did they not do that?
Because the guy got busy with Battlestar Galactica.
Well, fucking, he should have went back to it.
I don't disagree. So
Bubba Hotep as a concept was fucking great.
Yes. Oh, for sure. I said I look at My Name is Bruce. Just I love both of them, but because I got to watch it with Bruce Campbell, and then hear all of his shitty, snide remarks at fans was absolutely hysterical. So. Yeah, Frey, it was amazing. The fact that I made my wife walk 3 miles each way to the theater because I was too cheap to pay for a cab. She didn't appreciate that, but I dragged her with her in 2008, so it was awesome. All right, but Bubba Hotep moves up.
You know it's true love when you guys are married now, and she had to endure that.
Mm-hmm. I had no problems with it. She understood the assignment.
She absolutely did understand the assignment.
I'm not saying this happened shortly after I proposed before we got married. I'm just throwing it out there. But all right, so the last half of the top bracket, I don't know how much more you have in your back to go, is a little after 10. I know we were late, but we have an 80s battle to end all 80s battles. Gremlins versus Monster Squad.
I knew Monster Squad was going to be in this. Gremlins versus Monster Squad. All right. Which one was the better comedy? Da 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 da.
Is that your vote?
I don't know.
Because that's my vote.
Gremlins over Monster Squad.
Only because Monster Squad freaking destroyed the Universal Monster lore.
I'll give you that.
And I can only watch Monster Squad a few number of times, quite honestly. I can watch Gremlins at Halloween and Christmas.
Yeah, like Monster Squad is one of those movies that I can only take so much of.
Mm-hmm.
And that's aside from everything else. Like, it is one of those movies that I'm just like, I guess.
Yeah. Right, but Gremlins is in my opinion funnier and scarier.
Have you watched the animated series?
The Mogwai series? I have not.
They just got renewed for another season. So I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this. That was one of the things that we reported on when we first started doing the show.
Yeah.
And you know, it took them like 3 years to come out. But I mean, like,
it's the Legend of the Mogwai, right?
Legend of the Mogwai, that's right. Yeah. And they have like an all-star cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like the voice acting on it. So I'm like, I want to watch it. Just I always forget that like they finally released that, and they didn't make a big deal about it, but they just renewed it for another season. So it's like, it can't be bad if they renewed it for another season.
That's fair. I mean, I guess the Mallrats TV show didn't last very long, or the Clerks one.
Yeah.
Or
no, but I mean, it's Max, and Max usually doesn't renew shit unless it's like, you know, unless it's popular enough for people to watch it. So
yeah, I don't know. I'd rather have is Ming Na in it?
I think Ming Na Wen is doing a character in it. Yeah.
Is the original guy back? This is a prequel, right?
A prequel. So this is supposed to be how
the guy in the shop got
the Mogwai in the first place.
Got Gizmo. Yeah.
And I know, what's his name? This dude. My chair almost fucking fell over. This guy.
It really pisses me off to no end.
Yeah. Caught right.
Talk about fucking horror comedies. That should have been in there.
So what do you say, Phil?
It's a very, very, very missed opportunity to not have fucking Big Trouble in Little China in there.
It's I don't call it horror. I call it the precursor and inspiration for Mortal Kombat.
It kind of is, but I mean, like, there are very horrific elements to that movie, man.
I chalk it up to, like, you know, Jim Cotta stuff and Bloodsport. So
Because like there are martial arts, but then there's also like a lot of fucking like exploding bodies and fucking just like really crazy creature effects and shit.
Yeah, it's. I consider it more of an action comedy than anything else.
I hear you. I'm probably going Gremlins.
Gremlins. All right. Taylor saying Little Monsters should have been on here.
Little Monsters should have been on here too. That's another movie though. But I mean, it's not that much of a horror movie. It's more of a comedy than anything. But
Was it not on the kids' horror?
was Little Monsters on the kids' horror?
I don't recall. I don't consider Little Monsters to be.
You know what? It was. You know why? Because I remember talking about one of my favorite scenes in that movie being when he pisses in the kid's apple juice.
Mm-hmm. Well, fun fact, I don't think I've ever seen Little Monsters more than once.
Really?
Yeah.
Little Monsters is a great movie, man.
Taylor said it was not on there. Well, Taylor, you take up with the internet and their top 50 lists, and Little Monsters is not on there.
Fucking young Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how he got through that fucking movie because he's a known germaphobe and he wears a lot of fucking prosthetics and makeup through that whole process.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't on there this saying. Well, once again, write into James at thisisnerd@AOL.com and tell him, James, we need to be able to bigger brackets. That costs money. So buy us a taco and we'll make it happen.
Nice plug.
All right. So, Phil, what do you want to do? It is 10:10 or 8:10 your time. How much you got left of that? Obviously, you have a lot of the bag.
I don't have that much left on this particular bag.
Okay. So we'll do a couple. We'll do a couple more until you finish up here.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, Young Frankenstein putting on the Ritz versus Death Becomes Her.
Putting on the Ritz. That's how to do that scene. Death Becomes Her is more of a dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, again, Young Frankenstein is more slapstick, more intentional comedy, or parody than anything. But it's so well done.
Yeah.
That's the movie that put Mel Brooks on the map.
Oh, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think before this was Blazing Saddles and a silent movie, which I
was Blazing Saddles before Young Frankenstein?
Blazing Saddles is, yeah, for sure.
Because I thought Young Frankenstein is what made what's his name's career.
It was. So I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure.
I thought that's the one that made Gene Wilder's career.
I mean, he was also in Blazing Saddles.
Oh, they came out the same year.
Did they?
Yeah. No, because I thought what it was he found Gene. I forgot what Gene Wilder was doing, but like he found Gene, and put him in Young Frankenstein. He got like really big on that, and then when he was making Blazing Saddles, he was like, "Okay, I really love this guy Gene Wilder that I found when we did Young Frankenstein, and needed somebody to play the lead in Blazing Saddles, and got Gene to do that."
Yeah. So there's Young Frankenstein versus Death Becomes Her. No, but Blazing Saddles was first.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh God, so I was pulling it up just to look at the year, and immediately the picture that comes up is Marty Feldman, and I'm just like, oh my God, he was fucking amazing in that movie.
Oh yeah. for sure. I'm saying Young Frankenstein just because I can watch Young Frankenstein probably every day. Quite honestly, Death Becomes Her, like I said, fantastic movie. It is really good. I'm not dismissing it, but I think comedic wise and holding up now 50 years later versus 30 years later, Young Frankenstein holds up more.
So I'm also going Young Frankenstein, but my reasoning is more because it's not just a classic as far as like parody and horror and all that stuff, but it is considered one of the better comedies in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you look at like top 10 lists of best comedies, Young Frankenstein tends to be in those lists. And that's aside from the genre bending that they do in the movie. So I think that alone, that those bona fides and that just being as good of a comedy as it is, kind of puts it up pretty high on the list for me. So I'm going with Young Frankenstein on this as well.
Yeah,
because again, I feel the same way. Death Becomes Her is a really well done, very good movie, but I feel like Young Frankenstein just edges it out.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see a sequel to Death Becomes Her.
It would be.
Obviously, we can't have Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah, sadly.
Well, I mean,
is Goldie Hawn still around? I know she's still around, but I mean, is she acting?
I think so. I'm just saying because Bruce Willis's character dies in the movie. So
yeah, but also Bruce Willis is currently suffering from dementia, and he's no longer acting. So.
Right, it'd be interesting to see that they need someone else to create the serum for him. Just saying. Like I said, I love, like I said, I love all these movies on this list in their each own individual way.
Same.
So, but nothing beats Gene Wilder stabbing himself in the leg to prove a point, and then just kind of paying off, and then just crosses his leg over his leg, just tying it like class dismissed.
And that's also the famous "It's alive! It's alive!"
Mm-hmm.
Gene Wilder's performance of that is used more than the original Frankenstein movie.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He plays a fantastic madman.
Yeah. That just in general plays a fantastic madman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's everything. You need someone to shout and be comedic about it? Yeah, get Gene Wilder. All right. You want to scare a bunch of kids on a boat going to the Chocolate River? Gene Wilder.
Which is another role that he just absolutely fucking killed.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that like nobody's been able to match it since. And it's very much not in line with the way Roald Dahl wrote the characters, which is fucking amazing.
Right. I'd be very suspicious if he also wrote like Michael Jackson.
Well, Roald Dahl wrote the way Roald Dahl wrote the character is more the way that Johnny Depp played.
Yes, but Johnny Depp went full Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he did. But I mean, like that's the thing is like
he's supposed to be kooky and like just the most unreliable narrator.
Yeah, if you compare the story to the book, that version of the movie, as much as everybody hates that version of the movie, that movie is more faithful to the books, to the point where the music, and I know everybody always complains about the music in that movie.
The lyrics are line for line.
Line for line, exactly the songs that are in the book.
Mm.
So it's like everybody can complain all they want about it, but it is literally what Roald Dahl wrote.
Oh yeah, like even the kids' deaths and they're changing to become it. With the TV, Mike TV, right, being stretched, right. So he's like lanky, and he was on the stretchy taffer and all that stuff. It's very true to what it is.
Well, like the same thing with the golden goose, and everybody complained about, well, he didn't do the golden gooses. Well, the golden geese were not in the original book.
Right.
What was in the book was the squirrel factory that we got in the movie.
Yes. Yeah. All right, so let's do our last one then. I think for tonight.
Yeah, I'm almost done here.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil against This Is the End.
Oh no. Okay. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Oh man, versus This Is the End. You know what else Tucker and Dale versus Evil reminded me of?
What's that?
With like the style of the way that they did these movies was Ernest.
Yes.
Like it's very much the way that they like the way that their performances are feels very much like a Ernest Scared Straight.
Oh yeah.
It's like unwitting idiots trying to survive, like, you know, a fucking horror scene.
Mm-hmm. I'm going Tucker and Dale versus Evil. As much as I love This Is the End, I think Tucker and Dale versus Evil is very, very quotable as well. I'd say more so than This Is the End.
I can see that.
I'd argue that everyone in This Is the End, yes, they're playing characterizations of themselves, but they're still not different than any other character they've ever played.
Okay.
Well, I think Alan Tudyk and Tyler Lautner, or Tyler, they took themselves and made the characters their own, which made them, in my opinion, better.
Right. Okay.
As I said, I love this end, but let's face it, it is essentially stoner and dick humor versus not. Like they're able to do comedy with like an actual slasher, redneck in the woods thing versus an apocalypse.
Okay, so I finished here. So what is happening here? This is, what's the doctor's name? You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
the guy who made Sally.
Yeah,
that she tries to poison 1,000 times. This is supposed to be. This is like the entrance to the tower.
Yeah.
So the tower that he locks Sally in. So you can see kind of like the stairs that it has here. I like how like dilapidated stairs. The fence, and then like the broke down walls and everything. A whole bunch of accents, just a bunch of like pumpkins and shit. Finkelstein. That's what it is. But God, This Is the End or Tucker and Dale.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to think which one made me laugh more.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like for me personally, I laugh every time at Tucker and Dale. I laugh less every watch of This Is the End.
Because I mean, a lot of them really are just like jackass versions of themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It makes you realize this, like, yeah, these guys are kind of jerks.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder, like, how much of it is real and how much of it is them messing around. I know,
if you said James Franco was like his character and This Is the End, I'd be like, all right, that makes sense.
Well, everything I've heard
about. Oh, he's doing the scoop.
Snootin' scoot. Yeah, like again, everything I've heard about James Franco is he's a dick in real life. So,
all right. So what say you, Phil?
What say me? I say. Nobody's voted on this, huh? Oh, okay. There's one for This Is the End, one for Tucker and Dale, 2 for This Is the End.
Mm-hmm.
You make 2 for Tucker and Dale. So that means it's me.
It is you.
So Tucker and Dale, or This Is the End. I think I'm gonna go with Tucker and Dale, just because I think ultimately it is a funnier movie.
I think I laugh the same amount on Tucker and Dale every rewatch.
You know,
To me, that's
it's funny is your guys' new logo. I immediately thought Tucker.
That may have been
Intentional.
All right, that means Tucker and Dale is moving forward. So just a preview of what we have left on this bracket. Good Dead and Loving It.
Ooh.
Shaun of the Dead versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay.
The Burbs versus Happy Death Day. Bubba Hotep versus Young Frank.
Your heart might get broken on that one, bro.
I'm used to chat breaking my heart. And Young Frankenstein versus Tucker and Dale.
Ooh, okay.
We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein versus Tucker and Dale. So again, guys, we because it's a we're not doing this whole thing on Halloween, but we are doing an interview on the first. So we'll just be doing interviews until the next time. So the next time we do a bracket is going to be in 2 weeks' time.
Mm-hmm.
The first, I guess technically the first full week of November.
Yes, we'll have some spoopy runoff into November.
That's right. So Spoopy Time is coming out on the 7th. Oh, and that's going to be a good one. Liam Price is coming on. So he's a filmmaker out of Nevada. So that'll be a fun one to have an opinion on. But yep, that is it from us, guys. Again, tomorrow we will be talking with Mark Maya again. He's got some new stuff that we're coming up.
Sweet.
Let me take a look at something here. Mark Maya's PR guy just messaged me.
Uh-oh.
No. Mark is coming on tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. I think we're going to be doing a special 2-hour episode tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah. So the PR, his PR agent, we'll talk about it after the show here. All right. Okay. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We will see everybody tomorrow for another episode of The Build. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, remember, keep nerding together. It's time for the dance party. We will see you guys all tomorrow.
Distance nerding.
How much call keys? Bye.